Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is February 7th, and we've got a jam-packed update for you today. We're going to start with news of the first devnet, and when that's coming, we've got a date for you. We're going to talk about rETH in DeFi, some successes, and some great incentives. We're going to talk about a question asked on Reddit about what went wrong with Rocket Pool, and we're going to talk about a whole lot more as well. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
So the only place to start today is here with this post from Langas, and he says, "Hey everyone, it's happening, people. We're aiming to deploy the Saturn DevNet 1 features to Haleshki DevNet Monday next week, Australian time. So Sunday night, basically, or Sunday evening, US time." And then Langas says, "Once we have deployed the contracts, we'll announce a new development build of the smart node. If you would like to participate in testing Saturn features, you can download the build and play around. As a reminder, DevNet 1 includes most of the deposit process features outlined in the indicative timeline. To provide feedback, I have created a feedback thread." So we're looking forward to getting this into the hands of the community to test and provide feedback. Many thanks, Rocket Pool. So this is actually really awesome stuff. I'm really happy that Langas has announced this. It's going to be around 7 or 8 days, well, 8 or 9 days later than we'd hoped, but I don't think that's too prohibitive. Hopefully we can make up for some of that time. Later, and it won't be a delay to Saturn 1. We're still looking at that July timeframe for that. So yeah, this is really exciting. There's a feedback thread that he made, and I'm going to just join this right now so I can give you all updates as they're coming through if there's anything serious. But it's really cool to see that we've already got some community members joining in there. Pateris is in there, Drez, Tojado, Trooper, and Valton and Octogene. So some people have joined. I guess others will start to look to actually start playing around with the DevNet before they start putting their feedback in there. So the kind of things that people will be looking out for is, of course, are bugs, issues with the smart node build, issues with the contracts. If there's any bugs with the contracts, I don't know how deep some community members go. Some go really, really deep. So that's really awesome. So that'll be something to look out for. But yeah, this is really exciting, and I'm really happy that Langas is getting this done. So thanks, Langas. I think the whole community is going to be really excited about it. I'm going to probably put out a Twitter thread about it over the weekend, probably on Sunday, just to let people know that stuff is actually happening on Rocket Pool and the team's plugging away, and good things are coming. So look out for that as well. Okay, we had some feedback here from the broke. Well, now he's the depressed bankrupt director. He used to be the sad broke director. I guess things are getting worse for him. Anyway, he says that he's got some updates on the Contango Compound campaign. So for those of you who don't know, the depressed broke director, bankrupt director now, that is Spartan. And Spartan works with Alpha Growth. They're a team that the GMC hired to do BD work for the community, and part of that work that they've been doing is trying to get these incentives out and trying to get this work done to help rETH grow and to have more rETH minted. We've talked about on Rocket Fuel about their latest campaign, which is a folding/looping campaign with rETH on Contango and Compound. You basically deposit rETH, borrow ETH against that, and then you get more rETH and do it over and over again. It's kind of like it acts as a leverage basically, so you can get incentives for doing that. So here, Spartan says that rETH had a 4x increase in TVL after the campaign started. With others, that's wrapped SETH, RSETH. I think that's from, I don't know who that's from. Swell, I think. Yeah, Swell, I think. That is, wrapped restaked SETH, that's Swell ETH. That's 2.5 increase. Easy ETH, that's from Ethify, I think, or that's just EETH. I don't even know with all these acronyms anymore. Anyway, they had a 1.4x increase, and Lido's wrapped STETH had a 1.4x increase. So that is, it's really good gains from rETH there. I guess people were looking to use leverage long DeFi, and they now have good incentives to do that with rETH. And then Broke Director says on the 6th of January, the rETH price, sorry, the ETH price was 2,700 versus 3,700 versus 2,700 today, i.e. a decrease of 27%. So let's look at the increase in terms of open interest. So rETH went from 486 ETH to 2,704 ETH, which is a 5.6 times increase. And then the others had a 3.4 times increase, a 2 times increase, and a 2 times increase. So that was actually some really nice numbers that Spartan showed about the success of their campaign. But we have to remember, is $1 spent on this campaign less or more effective than $1 spent on another campaign, for example? Which one would work better in terms of driving demand and driving growth? Now, that's what Val here said, right? He says, what's Rocket Pool spend for a month of the campaign? And then Broke Director said it's 10K USD of RPL for 3 months. And so basically $3,333 per month. And this is most of the yields are from OP incentives. So that's when Val was going to give a grade on it and what the growth levels of it were. And he says he's going to work on that. And then a little while later he came in and gave this analysis saying that it doesn't look so good. But then he kind of crossed it all out. So let's actually look at the analysis. He made a mistake in his assumptions. So let's have a look at the analysis that was actually looked good. So he says, first look, attributing 100% of the demand to the campaign. So he says if you do that, he crunched some numbers showing what it looked like. And he says that's a 171x increase in demand to yearly incentive. So he says, I previously talked about demand creation targeting higher than 67 times incentives, with 27 being IMC gets this already on liquidity spend without any optimizing for demand. So he says that's very good. He says a more skeptical take would be, well, Lido got 3.4x, so we should only take the excess demand above that. Fair enough, let's look. So he says with this we can get, and he crunched some numbers of demand, 1,052 ETH attributed to the campaign. So that would get us an 82x multiplier. He says, which is probably just about good enough. Sounds like it's a bit hard to disentangle the effects of the OP campaign here. But likely this is too pessimistic, but the first is too optimistic. So it's somewhere between 172x and 82x. So using Val's numbers, saying that 67 is the target. We want to get higher than that. Then it looks like it's doing pretty well. So that's really great stuff. And it looks like that's going well. So that you can dig into that. And then the Broke Director said, so Val, would you say that leverage looping is a strategy Rocket Pool should continue pursuing? I know that IMC cannot incentivize this, but wanting to get your opinion as a community member, not as an IMC member. And then Val says, I think it's pretty clearly beating liquidity providing for demand creation. I do have questions about how reliably we can get this level of co-incentives, but it looks like it was a solid deal. Haven't really tried anything until now other than liquidity. So we're definitely babies in the demand creation space. So there's a whole lot more that kind of goes into this discussion. And we're going to be talking more a little bit later about other things that the Broke Director wants to do. But before that, let's talk about rETH in DeFi as a whole. So here, this is the update from Regex Buster that he does every 2 weeks through stakerocketpool.eth. And he says this is liftoff. PancakeSwap continues to its orbit with a distance of up to 118% APR. Buckle up for some big missions over at Uniswap and OKX. Boosted LPs are igniting it with 190% APR. Our mission at RPL DeFi continues to in this intergalactic update. So there's some screenshots there of those numbers. But yeah, the main numbers that kind of stick out is if you are going through that Uniswap event on Optimism, then you're getting 23% on an rETH position, And if you're using a yield-bearing stablecoin with rETH, then you're getting 190% on that. So the returns on that are absolutely astronomical. With the L2s, there's some not such great numbers, except on Balancer with rETH and wrapped ETH, that's on base. You're getting between 5.5% and 11%. And then Flat Money is giving some amazing yield numbers like 244% for the last 7 days. But that number, of course, has a lot of caveats attached to it and risks that you should first understand before interacting with Flat Money. Go watch my episode that I did with the Flat Money team, kind of explaining how it all works and what some of the risks are. And then if you have a look at mainnet, of course, the one and only, the one that is really standing out here is PancakeSwap. So that's getting up to 118% yield. Now, that's one of the higher yields that I've seen from that PancakeSwap pool. However, that PancakeSwap pool is very often the most, strongly yield-bearing pool for rETH. I think over the last year, just generally speaking, I think it's 80% of the time the PancakeSwap one is the best yield. So other places you can get 5% with Curve and nearly 5% with Balancer as well, which is still pretty nice. And then here you can see that there's other higher risk strategies that can get you up to 9% as well. So with RPL, the rewards are less. So just holding rETH, the rewards are less, of course, and that's around 2.75% at the moment over the last 30 days. So thank you, Regex Buster, for putting that together. That gives us some good context of what kind of yields you can get in DeFi right now. Now, wanting rETH to grow across other DeFi places, here the Broke Director again is trying to do this. He says, I'd like to spark a conversation tonight with the DAO. If the DAO are willing to support a canonical non-native bridge, which of the following does the DAO think is best? So I think what's happening here is Spartan is potentially talking to, or maybe getting ready to talk to different bridges to have rETH bridged all over crypto. And is kind of wondering which ones the community would be more supportive of. So that here on the list, there's Chainlink, CCIP, Layer 0, Wormhole, Across, or Hop. I'm still pursuing bridges that will take small BPS on the volume that would go back to the PDAO. This would help the Rocket Pool DAO fund initiatives. So it's kind of looking forward to as income revenue generation system. And Jasper was the first one to reply saying Chainlink is the only one that I think isn't made irrelevant by native bridging. Chainlink hooking into DeFi gives it the edge to me. And then looking for Al says Wormhole kind of sucks to deal with on the infrastructure side. And yeah, so then there's some other discussion. So if you're interested in this discussion, go and check out the discussion if you're interested in what people have said. And people were saying that, they like Chainlink the most, basically. But it's just, it's really interesting. So about the native, the Broke Director said that, can you elaborate on the Chainlink? I don't think I understand what you're saying here, to Jasper. And Jasper said interoperability between Ethereum native chains should be solved by the end of this year or next. So the question should be, what bridging solution do we want for non-Ethereum chains? So he says, if we're looking beyond L2s, then in my opinion, Chainlink is the best for distribution clients, Lindy. And then he said he's looking for all chains regardless of L2s, EVMs, and all L1s. And looking for Owls as well, says that Chainlink has a lot going for it. So yeah, there's some interesting chat there. I think that's not the end of that discussion either. So I look forward to seeing more on that. Okay, in some talk about Rocket Pool from outside of the Rocket Pool community, here was from Reddit's rETH thread. So this used to be ETH Finance until they merged with rETH. And here, Ethical Trade asked this question. He says, presents this point. He says, there's a really important lesson to learn from what happened to Rocket Pool. He says, sometimes having a great decentralized product isn't enough. Adoption isn't due to a great product. The market and users don't owe you adoption. You have to fight for success. And the window during which the fight is possible isn't open forever. He says, Rocket Pool may have been brought down by RPL's bad tokenomics that we're fixing with Saturn 1 and Saturn 2. But that's my addition. But Ethical Trade goes on to say, but our ETH was a great product, a real decentralized LST, first of its kind. It wasn't enough though. The team barely pushed for adoption, barely promoted the product, and was reluctant to adapt, reluctant to recognize problems and solve them. And even while the tokenomics redesign is coming, it might be too late. And then goes on to say, having a window to major success open right in front of you is a chance very few projects have. And even when the window is open, you still have to take the effort to go through it. You can't just contemplate success from the other side and wait. You have to go for it. Rocket Pool unfortunately didn't go for it. A great project and a great community have not been enough. I really hope that Ethereum at large saw that, and the Ethereum Foundation saw that Consensus saw that, and that every single community member saw it too. Other projects are perfectly willing to fight for the success, so should Ethereum. And other people said, I wanted to like it, but didn't want to take the risk of being stuck with RPL. Other people said Rocket Pool went for perfect instead of for good enough. Never understood why they simply didn't open their product and improve later. Lido ate their lunch. Others says they're late to market by a year. And Wheeler Dealer says our ETH was a great product. Is it still? I guess reference in the DPEG, there's more discussion going on there. Conscious Sky says, well said. Unfortunately, I think it's too late for Rocket Pool at this point. Regardless of token design, they had their shot and they missed. The big mistake was involving an unnecessary token from the beginning. And then the other person says it wasn't a case of not wanting it bad enough or because there wasn't enough marketing. There was a time when everyone was talking about Rocket Pool. We love to complain that fundamentals don't matter, but I think this is a clear example where fantastic concept was let down by a weak point in the fundamentals. And that's talking about RPL. And then people saying, like, did it really break through the wider community, or was it just in ETH Finance and on Reddit and, like, in Discord and stuff? Like, that's what they're arguing. Peg to City says they went too late to the party and the coin wasn't needed for anything but fundraising. It showed. And then yeah. So that is that's how people outside of Rocket Pool but very Ethereum aligned are kind of seeing Rocket Pool right now, kind of as a project that we weren't aggressive enough on in terms of getting it into different protocols, making it the best possible LST. Also, from outside, people think that we didn't try hard enough, like in terms of marketing. We didn't try hard enough for growth, even like, potentially taking some shortcuts for growth to make sure that, we could cement our position. And instead we got left behind. So I thought that was really interesting. There's more comments there as well that you can look into if you follow the link below. But I would leave that for you to do so, because to read them all out would be a while. Okay, so we talked about how bad RPL, like people think RPL is, but that's not the only one. And like here, Pateris shared an image of the LDO token saying that LDO has also been garbage. So this was in the context of a discussion around, RPL being garbage, which is like people's favorite topic right now in the Rocket Pool community. And here, the LDO token basically is 90% down from its all-time high against ETH, and it's suffering really badly as well. So this is, I think, from Coin Market Cap, and it says that all-time high was 0.00688 ETH, and now it's 90% down from that. So it's taken a huge beating against ETH. This was a couple of days ago. Hodger posted this picture saying that RPL to ETH is 91% loss in value. So that's from the height around Atlas all the way to now. It's gone down so much in value. So Val actually here crunched some numbers a couple of days ago that I thought were really, really interesting about just how far the tokens have fallen from their all-time highs. Because Bossy was just like, is there a token that's worse than RPL? We got fucked so badly, it's unbelievable. And the idea was that, you would sell your rewards on the way down and basically accumulate as much ETH as possible. This idea that it's kind of cementing this idea that RPL was the worst, token in crypto, kind of. So Val actually went and did some research and pulled out the numbers. So, RPL was down 91% from ETH all-time highs. And Val says from all-time high, there's a lot of disasters out there from the staking tokens. Stakewise is down 96% from all-time high. LDO is down 97% from all-time high. I'm not sure where that number came from, but yeah. And then Stader down 90% from all-time high. EtherFi is down 71% from all-time high, but that's too new for a full cycle, basically. Like, it's the token's not old enough to really get the full data, but that's down bad as well, basically, from that time. He says other major Ethereum ecosystem tokens. So here we have things like Filecoin, down 99.97%, Curve down 99.94%, Frax down 99.8%, Comp down 98.7%, Ohm down 98.5%. I think that's Graph down 96%. Maker, which is a huge protocol, very successful still, is down 94%. Uni down 83%. Link, people are saying that this is going to be like a revolutionary product and all this kind of stuff. It's still down 83%, and Aave is down 68%. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of these are got hit really hard, and this is just against ETH. When you look at it against Bitcoin, like, it's just brutal, right? Because what's happened is Bitcoin has been incredibly strong, then ETH has lost ground to Bitcoin, and all of these tokens have lost ground to ETH. So it's like doubly amplified, because Atlas peak, 400 RPL, I think, was 1 Bitcoin, and now it's like, I haven't even looked at it recently, but last time I looked, it was over 10,000. RPL was 1 Bitcoin, and now I wouldn't be surprised if it's like closer to like 13, 14, 15,000. I haven't looked at numbers recently, but the ratio has really taken a hit recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's like even more than 15,000 RPL for 1 BTC. So it's been really, really brutal, like truly brutal, and yeah, that's just where it stands. So this is why the ETH ecosystem is so depressed as a whole. Like, any person who tried to outcompete ETH or try to outcompete Bitcoin has just been slaughtered, like absolutely slaughtered. And there's no way to sugarcoat this, right? Like, these are some of the biggest tokens in the ETH ecosystem in crypto, and some of the most well-known tokens, and they've all been absolutely brutalized by BTC by crypto, basically, over the last few years. So I'm not trying to say, hey, this makes RPL okay. Like, RPL does have problems, and that's what the community is trying to fix. But to say that this is just an RPL problem and it's just Rocket Pool that's a disaster is frankly not the case. It looks like all these other tokens have suffered hugely as well. And like, if you hold the example of Lido, that's literally the biggest protocol in all of crypto. I think it's bigger than almost like all L1s in terms of TVL and like what it does in terms of size. And even that has gone down so much. So it's like, what it's just horrible out there. So I just wanted to show this, like, to give some context. I'm not trying to sugarcoat how bad it's been for Rocket Pool and RPL, but the reality is that it's been horrible out there for alts, like really, really bad. Okay, let's move on to some staking news now. And the staking news here is from NodeSet. And NodeSet have a couple of updates, one formal update and one informal one. So the formal update is that NodeSets are saying that claims are live for Constellation. So they're unlocked on Holeshki as a testnet to make sure that everything's working okay. So here Wonder says you may now process your mini pools and subsequently claim process rewards at your Constellation dashboard. Please note that this feature is currently only available for Holeshki. You will need to click the button in the header that says mainnet to change networks. This will take a couple of seconds to swap from mainnet to Holeshki, and then you'll be good to go. We are aware that the UX is a little rough at the moment, and we will continue working to improve it, but we want to get this out to you as quickly as possible. Please let us know if you have any questions, and thanks for being a NodeSet operator. So that's a nice little update from them. So, the node operators can start to claim their rewards soon, which is nice. It's a couple of months worth of rewards, which is awesome. And then Apache says, but, why can't I claim my mainnet rewards? And Wanda says, because we need to study the data to ensure that it's working 100% first. And Patchy says, just YOLO it. And Wanda says, if things go as planned, we'll unlock the mainnet next week. So don't worry, basically it's going to come soon. So that's a nice little update from NodeSet. Like, they're making progress on getting things going for node operators to get their rewards, and hopefully that will work out for all of us. So on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. So thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all have a lovely day ahead and lovely weekend ahead. I hope it's better than last weekend, which was an absolute disaster. And I'll see you all on Monday. Bye.